It is our great pleasure now at the end of day one of this conference on Taiwan's economic security in a changing global environment to welcome as our keynote speaker one of Taiwan's most influential and long-serving economic policymakers, and that is Minister John Chen-Chung Deng. He is Minister without Portfolio and the Chief Trade Representative of the Republic of China, Taiwan, a position he has held since August 2016. In that role, he's been at the forefront of recent U.S.-Taiwan talks on trade and supply chain issues, which I understand crossed a threshold today. Is that right, Kara? So congratulations, Minister Deng. We look forward to your reflections on that. We've been waiting a long time for progress on that front. A career civil servant, Minister Deng has worked in both KMT and DPP administrations. He's a bipartisan man. He has decades of experience managing Taiwan's economic and security affairs. He holds law degrees both from Suzhou University and from Georgetown University. So, Mr. Minister, we've had a very vigorous day. And it's our great honor and pleasure to welcome you now for your remarks.
Thank you very much, Larry, for many of your kind words in the introduction. I wish I could be with you in person today. Weather in San Francisco is also always very attractive to those of us who live in Taiwan. So, but because there are other business and because APEC meeting will be held next week, so I couldn't join you in person. I regret very much for that. I wish I could do it in the future. First of all, I want to thank Hoover Institute for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation and discuss with you on Taiwan's economic security under this global change. I understand you have a very heavy schedule today, on whole day today, and a nice lunch is coming. So it is quite a challenge for me to make this presentation attractive to you. So I will divide 4 parts. And I understand that nowadays the political factors and the economic factors are all intertwined. But as a economic official, I will focus today's presentation on the mainly on the economic view. This doesn't mean I ignore the importance and the factors of those political factors, but I see you had quite a good, thorough discussion in the daytime discussion. I will divide 4 parts in my presentation. First, I will present to you that Taiwan's economic security aligns with U.S. interest. On the second part, I will give you some numbers about Taiwan's economic performance in these difficult pandemic years. And thirdly, I also will give you some numbers of the current U.S. and Taiwan trade investment relations. My last part, I will update you of what is happening now between U.S. and Taiwan on these economic and trade issues. So with that, I'll start my presentation that why, in my view, that Taiwan's economic security aligns with U.S. interest. The essence of the tension in the Taiwan Strait is a systemic competition between democratic, market-oriented economy and authoritarian state-led national capitalism. Taiwan's economic resilience and strength have been built upon its stability over the past 50 years. We think that Taiwan plays a critical role in the in the global supply chain. The semiconductor industry is a best known example, but Taiwan has more to offer, such as electronic vehicles and electronic devices. You had one of your sessions in today's discussion is on semiconductor. My good friend, Connie Huang, is one of the panelists. He's very good on that. I believe you must hear from him many very good numbers and the views. And therefore, strengthening the cooperation with Taiwan, I argue, contributes to the establishment of a more secure and resilient international trade system. We cannot deny really a situation where the international community spent 50 years to build a free, open, globalized based international economic order. However, if we see what's happening in WTO now, we'll see that order is facing a very serious challenges. The negotiation and the dispute settlement mechanism is in stalemate in WTO. That represents a lot and give us a lot of very serious warning. Taiwan, our economy is based on a international order that must be fair and must be provide a free competition. We are very concerned of that. I think the same thing, the same view is also shared by business community and government in the United States. So by strengthening US-Taiwan, I think we can contribute to establish a healthier, a more, a better system in the future. The core interest of US and Taiwan is to promote an inclusive and rule-based international trade system that levels the playing field for business. We also need to ensure greater supply chain resilience to prevent future disruptions. The supply chain disruptions in past 2 years caused a lot of damages to our life, to the business structure, and probably many companies suffers a very serious negative blow to their operation. So we should make best efforts to prevent that to happen in the future. And I mean, we here in Taiwan, we always consider that US plays a leading role in the state-of-art, innovative manufacturing operation in the past few decades, in the innovation and in the business model. And for US to maintain this leading role are in the interest of US national security. if Taiwan's economic security is compromised, this will undermine the U.S. leading position in many critical sectors. China has been attempting to establish its own self-sufficient supply chains on many sectors, including semiconductors, and they have already achieved some results. Taiwan, as a trusted partner for the U.S. and its allies, constitutes an integral part of the current global supply chain. That will be very, very sad to see that this U.S.-led supply chain being damaged. And in order for the U.S.-led institution, international order be maintained, we cannot offer to weaken Taiwan's economic role in this world stage. So really, I think my point is Taiwan's economic security is Taiwan's national security. Taiwan's national security is a very important part for U.S. national security and U.S. interest. Now, let me go to second part of my presentation that I would like to share with you our economic performance in this pandemic years. Taiwan's economic performance over the past 30 years have been healthy. Our economy has continued to grow despite financial crisis, dot-com bubble, COVID pandemic, the other international challenges. If you see the table on the right side, you can see Taiwan in most of the years, our performance is better than the world average. Also, in most of the time, better than our neighbors in this region. And on 2022, if we see the last number released, that is the third quarter of 2022, that we also doing quite well. We had 4.1% growth. So if we see our neighbors, only Singapore, 4.4 is better than Taiwan, but since their base is rather low compared to last year, and this number even better than China can deliver. This is one of a very rare case that Taiwan's economic performance outperformed China. This is another number that the IMF forecast. We also doing very well. We were doing well in 2022. That's the economic growth. Let's come to the investment. Compared to 2012 and 2016, Taiwan's FDI inflows and outflows over the past 5 years continue to grow. This reflects widespread trust in Taiwan's economic and trade environment. So you see, regardless inflow investment or outflow investment, we all have a very healthy growth if we use 5 years as a comparison base. Of course, we always make cross-check with how other international organizations doing their view, assess the performance of different countries. So I just use this number of IMD of their world competitiveness ranking in 2022. We are the 7th in the world in terms of our competitiveness. So that means something to us. And the following several numbers just to show you the relation between US and Taiwan. You can see from those numbers that our trade and investment are really growing very well in past 2 years. If we see this one, Taiwan's export to US have continued to grow over the past 5 years. That number reached the peak in 2021. The annual growth was close to 30%. Taiwan imports from US is also reached 5 years high. The annual growth is 20.4%. So this is despite all those supply chain disruption and the pandemic, both our export and import from United States to and from United States, as you can see, all have very large increase. And on the investment, mutual investment between US and Taiwan over the past 5 years also increased. If we see this number, Taiwan's investment in the US grew by 431.8%. It is easy to understand because of the large investment of TSMC, but the number really grew. I was in DC with more than 200 Taiwan companies who are seeking investment opportunities to US. So I think I can quite comfortably say that because of the diversification of our companies to their investment activities, US will be one of the important places for our investors. Of course, the largest destination will be in Southeast Asia. Probably, very likely, the second largest destination will be in the United States. If we see from here, I think we can very comfortably predict that the trade and investment numbers between US and Taiwan will continue to grow. And I will list the recent events to also those events are helping our relations. There were more than 200 members of Congress sign letters urging Biden administration to support the negotiation of a bilateral trade agreement with Taiwan, as well as to include Taiwan into the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. In June 2021, US donated 25 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Taiwan. This is a very important factor that Taiwan control our pandemic and therefore maintain our economic activities. That's why we can see the growth we show in previous slides. We appreciate that, of course. And third, President Biden signed SA 12, a bill to help Taiwan obtain observer status of World Health Assembly. That's another. U.S. has been doing that for long, but for president to sign a bill, this is a very highly appreciated, highly appreciated help to Taiwan. And also President Biden sent Senator Christopher Dodd, one of his best friends and former chairman of Joint Chief of Staff, Michael Mullen, to Taiwan, while there are serious threat and crisis occurred here in the region. And we those are the very concrete action gesture for the U.S. show to Taiwan, and that was it's very well noted. This comes to my last part of presentation, that to report to you and update you what is happening now. The existing collaborative mechanism between U.S. and Taiwan, basically there are four channels, four platforms. One is Economic Prosperity Partnership Dialogue. The second one is Technology, Trade, and Investment Collaboration. Third is Trade and Investment Framework Agreement. The fourth one is Initiative for 21st Century Trade. I will focus on the 21st Century Trade Initiative. Under this initiative, we have a very clear goal, that to reach agreement after our negotiation. We started this process basically in the summer of 2022. So far, we already determined the scope and the mandate of this agreement. The agreement was composed with very diversified and broad topics that include here. Some are traditional trade topics. The others are emerging new trade topics, trade-related topics. That's why we call it 21st Century Initiative. I'll very quickly run down with you on those topics. Trade facilitation, traditional; anti-corruption, quite not very often seen in a trade agreement; environment, regulatory practices; small medium enterprises; state-owned enterprises; agriculture, a traditional trade item; digital trade; non-market policies and practices; standards, and labor. I will categorize this wide, varied topics into several groups and explain to you the purpose of having an agreement on those topics. The first group, the purpose of this negotiation is to harmonize U.S. and Taiwan system, and so that we can reduce time and cost to international trade. This includes the trade facilitation topic, good regulatory practices, and agriculture. A particular note on good regulatory practices. Now, government always issue regulation, But in the process of issuing regulation and determining the contents of the regulation, under this topic, we will give private sectors, NGO, civil society, business community, more opportunity to inject their views into the process, so that the private sector's view can have a better channel to go into government decision process. We think certainly that will increase the burden of the bureaucrats, but that will be very helpful to a governance. And second purpose is to establish fair business environment and collaborate to resist economic coercion as well as distortion. This include non-market policies and practices. It is still quite, you don't see this often in other trade agreements. And state-owned enterprises and the anti-corruption. Third one is to respond to 21st century emerging issues and facilitate industry transformation. The very obvious digital trade is to fit that purpose. Fourth is to cooperate to enhance Taiwan's participation in international standards formulation. This is on standards. Standard now, Taiwan's economy now is moving from a place order type of manufacture to a more invention, innovative type. So we need to participate more on the standard setting. This agreement will provide better opportunity for Taiwan industry to get into more standard setting and work with US. The fifth goal is to support small medium enterprises, women, underrepresented and disadvantaged group in trade. We have a particular sector well devoted to small medium enterprises. The sixth one is protect workers' rights and interest under global economic activities. We recognize that most of the advantage benefits in the globalization in past decades are going mostly for large companies and for those who owns capital. So it is very important that the workers shall have their share. So we like to discuss with the United States how to reach that goal. So labor will be a very important part of our negotiation. And the seventh is cooperate on green economy and global sustainable development. That's on the environment. So those are the goals of our trade agenda. We have a very ambitious schedule. We hope that whole thing we can finish the negotiation by the end of next year. It is very ambitious. The topics are very diversified. Many are new to us, but I think if we can achieve that goal, U.S. and Taiwan economic relation will be on a much stronger foundation, and the business community on both sides can have better confidence on each other's investment and trade. The third very important thing is that will give a very strong message to the international community that U.S. supports Taiwan. And also the other message is that the U.S. does not not only supports Taiwan, but take the concrete measure that to implement U.S. To demonstrate the U.S. commitment. We've been proposing this to U.S. for many, many years. So, particularly in this critical time, if we can achieve this goal, I think the message is not only on the economic side, but also very important, have very important political implication. So with that, my very short conclusion is that a stronger U.S.-Taiwan economic partnership will not only benefit our two countries, but also the international community. A closer economic relation between Taiwan and the United States is essential to bring together like-minded partners who support freedom and democracy. So with that, I'll stop here. If there are any questions or additional information that I can provide to you, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, for that very lucid presentation. I think you've agreed to maybe take a few questions before you have to go. We have a microphone roving around. Mike, do you have a question? Maybe just briefly introduce yourself to the minister.
Mr. Minister, thanks for being with us. I'm Michael Brown. I'm a visiting scholar at Hoover. Your presentation was really outstanding, kind of covering what we've talked about as a two-body problem, U.S. and Taiwan, but of course, the PRC was conspicuously absent. So I think we'd be fine as long as they didn't interfere. Can you give us your perspective on, so what happens when the three-body problem is put in motion and she, carries out what he's been very consistently saying he wants to do, which is reunify. And that's something that the Taiwanese people I've seen in recent polling are not in favor of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Brown. Yes, I think the attempt of China and Mr. Xi is very clear. After this People's Congress, his final goal, of course, is to make this China dream, this dominance of the world in economic and political. But I think important thing for us, for the democratic world, is I think we need to demonstrate to them that the aggressiveness, their aggression cannot be achieved. They have to live. They have to learn how to live with the rest of the world. We here in Taiwan, of course, we have a strong determination. If we see what happened, all put it together of what happened in Hong Kong, what happened in past several years, what happening on what they've been doing to their business, and the way they manage their economy, it is a threat. It is a threat. Therefore, I think I can report to you and Professor Brown that people here is much stronger sense that we have to defend ourselves. In militarily, in economically. Again, as an economic official, I will focus on what on the economic side. One of the things that I think we should avoid is a kind of saying that since the tension in this region, the cross strait, so companies shall put that companies in their business decision, they should put into this in their consideration, or even lead to an impression that this is not a stable place for them to do business. I think we should avoid that kind of thinking to spread. As a matter of fact, I hope that in my presentation, I can demonstrate that Taiwan is a very important part, integral part of the current supply chain, which is led by US. This has been built for decades. If we hurt that supply chain, one, it is a very sad. Second, you are not necessarily can rebuild it with other components. So I hope that the international community can treasure this relation, can treasure Taiwan and recognize Taiwan's contribution on that and help Taiwan. The very concrete thing now that we are working very hard is on this trade agreement. I think through this, US shows taking very concrete measure to demonstrate that they want and they do. They are helping Taiwan. I think to maintain the stability here and to help Taiwan to defend our system, to defend our economy, to defend our way of life, it's very important, and I think we can succeed.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. If we can take one more question, I'd like to give the mic now to my co-chair of the program on Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific region, who also co-chairs our working group on the global trade in semiconductors. And as a result of that, we are certainly even more keenly aware than we otherwise would have been of what a critical role Taiwan plays in global supply chains. So, Admiral Jim Ellis.
Thank you, Minister. We're delighted to have you here and appreciate your perspective. And congratulations on your success in advancing this initiative that I know has been a priority of you and Taiwan leadership for so many years. We spent a lot of time today talking about the changing global economic environment. And so the bilateral relationship you're talking about establishing with the United States is obviously very important, but it's going to take place in what some are calling a new world order in terms of economic. I know you attend the conferences, you talk a lot with experts. There's a lot of discussion about deglobalization and the negative impact and regional blocks and blocks that are structured on the basis of their democratic values and the like. But there may be some positives in there as well. And so as you think about the future of the global economy and Taiwan's place in it, do you see any opportunities for Taiwan beyond the bilateral conversation we've been having? Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral. Yes, we do see that we have a very good opportunity that in the global sense. Now, you all know we also applied to join CPTPP. That certainly will the success of that efforts. We are still working on that, but I think we should be able to help CPTPP grow stronger. And certainly, we also hope U.S. can come back to join this agreement. The goal of this agreement, through this agreement, we can make it real sharp comparison between a free market economy and a a state-led capitalism. The advantage and disadvantage to the international world, to the world economic and political stability. In one system is using state power, trying to dominate the world. The other is through free competition. We all get prosper. So there we emphasize innovation. We emphasize on the competition. I think in this sense, Taiwan, we stand on this free market economy side, our importance will be more clear when the international community can accept Taiwan more and allow Taiwan to have more space to participate in the discussion, to participate in the formulation of the new order. And also, we, as a relatively small, medium size, we can do it. We are a Chinese culture-based society. That is a very strong message that Taiwan can be a very healthy and very persuasive example for the other part of the world. So we are very enthusiastic. We are very positive for the role that we can play in the future of global development.
Great. Well, Mr. Minister, I'm going to speak directly to you in the camera there. We want to thank you. You've made a very eloquent case for the obvious reality that this deepening economic partnership between Taiwan and the United States rests on both mutual interests and profoundly shared mutual values. And of course, you can't beat that combination. So thank you very much for joining us. We know it's the middle of your morning there, and you probably have a very busy day now. Well, I guess it's Saturday there.
It's Saturday. This is a weekend.
Okay. So we hope we can release you to some degree of relaxation, though I suspect, given the burdens on you now, you're probably headed back to the office. But in any case, we thank you profoundly for your participation in our conference, and we'd love a copy of your slides if you want to share them with us.
Yes, thank you very much, Larry, and thank you very much for all of you. I think I gained a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.